The backlash over Lily Gao's performance as Ada Wong in Resident Evil 4 Remake was huge. I didn't even go looking for it, but at least one article from a major video games news reporting site was suggested to me on my smartphone about it. And I've come across a number of social media posts and creator reaction video clips that slammed that performance by Gao. So in light of all that, if we do see an Ada Wong return in any future Resident Evil video game projects, is there still a strong possibility that Lily Gao will be reprising her role as Ada Wong? I personally don't believe so. But you never know. Never say never, they say. But like many, perhaps even most, I didn't like her performance at all as Ada Wong, and especially at first. Like so many others, I just felt like her voice and performance was just such a mismatch for such a bold and striking character, such as Ada in this Resident Evil series. I just felt that Gao's voice was just a bit too mellow and laid back to fit the super saucy, ambitious, and determined Wong, thanks mainly to those super iconic portions and parts that she did have back in 2005 in that highly acclaimed original Resident Evil 4 game. But the good news for Gao, though, is that 3 years on and in retrospect, her performance has grown quite a bit on me. And I don't think that the Capcom developers were ever dumb either. There's no way they would have been able to turn Resident Evil into such a successful franchise by being very inept and incompetent. I honestly do see them as the top 1% of video game developers and designers of the world. So, of course, they are far, far from dumb and incompetent. So then did they just decide to randomly draw names from an old fishbowl when they selected Gao for the RE4 Remake role of Ada Wong? I don't think so either. I think Gao's natural personality and particular vibe as a performer was just what they liked and no doubt was a direction that they wanted their Ada Wong character to go in. And that's why they went with her. Or perhaps their decision to go with Lily Gao in that latest Ada character role in RE4 Remake had a lot to do with the recent Resident Evil film reboot with that Welcome to Raccoon City production, and the head honchos at Capcom simply wanted that movie tie-in and multimedia overlap. So how did this all come about then? With this particular topic and the making of this video on it all? Well, recently, I had a back and forth exchange with someone on social media about the possibility that Capcom was going to drop Gao for any future roles as Ada due to the significant fan backlash after that first run of hers as this focus character of our video here. So that particular individual stated that I don't think Capcom would ever replace an actor due to fan backlash. If it ever happens, it's usually to do with availability or more internal issues, such as pay. No, and no. I pretty much totally disagree with that estimation, and that might have came from a young individual who hasn't studied much or enough about business, and who hasn't had a lot of experience in the real world, particularly in the business world of the real world. Why? Because as alluded to, Capcom has been one of the biggest and most successful video games company around. And as of this video's writing, according to Wikipedia, they are a $1 billion entertainment company whose revenue has actually been on the rise. So I highly doubt that there's been any kind of financial issues when it comes to compensation of or any attempts to acquire the services of any talented actor, especially in our more recent times, in light of these humongous successes that they've been having in the video games industry. And Lily Gao is not that big of a name. In all honesty, she just isn't. Definitely nowhere near as big as, say, someone like Scarlett Johansson or Sydney Sweeney. And I would also guess that all these popular big-name video games actors, and more specifically the ones who basically specialize in the gaming industry, and particularly the veteran ones, all charge about the same because they're all on that same level, Considering all of that, I highly doubt that Capcom would struggle to drop Gao and to replace her with someone else because of a pricing issue, as we just went over with graphics and words about how successful they've been within the industry in recent times. So once more, they are big enough within this gaming business, so you'd think they could afford just about anybody's voice acting services within it. Lastly, please be aware that I am not a Lily Gao hater. I may not prefer her voice for some character roles out there, but I've never hated on her, nor do I despise her. I'm sure she's quite the pleasant person to be around in real life, and she also appears to just be another hard-working individual who is just trying to make ends meet and to take care of those that she cares about also. So, there's no hate or animosity towards her whatsoever, and only wishing her all the best with her path forward, and whether that is going to involve any more Resident Evil projects or not too.